Hey coin fans and treasure hunters, welcome to World Rare Coins, the place where history, mystery, and massive value collide in the world of rare US coins. If you think a quarter is just pocket change, think again. Here, we uncover hidden gems, minting mistakes, and mind-blowing stories behind coins that collectors dream about. Ready to discover coins that could change your life? Then stick around, because you're about to enter the thrilling world of rare coins like never before. Let's get started. Top 1 today, we're talking about the United States 2000 Maryland State Quarter, a coin that millions of people have held, spent, and probably forgotten. But hidden among those millions are a select few quarters so rare and so valuable. They've been auctioned for more than many people make in a year. And yes, we're going to reveal just how much one of these quarters sold for. But that jaw-dropping figure will come at the end of this video, so stick around and listen carefully, because what you learn today could help you discover a small fortune. Let's rewind the clock for a moment. In the year 2000, the U.S. Mint released the Maryland State Quarter as part of the legendary 50 State Quarters program. This was a cultural and numismatic phenomenon that began in 1999, with each state getting a unique quarter design to celebrate its history and identity. Maryland, the seventh state to join the Union, is often called the Old Line State. It's a title that honors the state's Revolutionary War soldiers, who famously held the line in battle and helped secure American independence. So it's only fitting that the coin chosen to represent Maryland features an enduring symbol of strength and pride, the Maryland State House Dome. The design is elegant and historical. The reverse side of the coin shows the dome of the Maryland State House in Annapolis, the oldest state capital in continuous legislative use. It's where George Washington famously resigned as Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army, and it still stands today as a symbol of American democracy. Flanking the dome on either side are white oak branches, the official state tree of Maryland. The words "the Old Line State" appear proudly beneath, reminding us of Maryland's pivotal role in American history. Now, with a design like that, you'd expect the Maryland Quarter to be special. But the truth is, over 1.2 billion of these quarters were struck between the Philadelphia and Denver mints. So why are some of them so incredibly valuable? That's where rarity, errors, and condition come into play. Let's break it down. Although this quarter was mass-produced, a very small number of coins left the mint with serious errors, minting mistakes that slipped past quality control. And in the coin collecting world, errors equals value. The rarer and more dramatic the error, the higher the price collectors are willing to pay. What kind of errors are we talking about? First up, the double die error. This is one of the most sought-after types of coin errors. A double die occurs when the die used to stamp the coin shifts slightly between strikes, resulting in doubling of the design elements. On the Maryland Quarter, this can appear as doubled letters in Maryland, 2000, or even in the fine details of the State House Dome. Coins with clear, noticeable doubling, especially visible to the naked eye, can skyrocket in value. Another prized error is the off-center strike. If the coin was struck when it wasn't perfectly aligned, the design will appear shifted, sometimes dramatically. If the date and mint mark are still visible on an off-center coin, collectors will pay a premium. Next, we have clipped planchet errors, where part of the coin is literally missing due to an improperly cut blank. A curved or straight chunk missing from the coin's edge makes it a one-of-a-kind collectible. But one of the rarest and most fascinating errors found on the Maryland Quarter is the missing clad layer error. You see, modern quarters are made from a copper core sandwiched between two layers of nickel. When one of those layers is missing, the coin appears reddish or copper-toned on one side. It's a striking visual difference and a rare minting mistake. If you come across a 2000 Maryland Quarter with this error, you could be holding something far more valuable than pocket change. Then there are die cracks, cuts, and struck-through errors, where something, like grease, cloth, or another object, interferes with the stamping process, leaving bizarre and fascinating marks on the coin's surface. And let's not forget about the most important factor of all, condition. A Maryland Quarter with one of these errors might be worth hundreds, even thousands. But if it's also in mint state, graded MS 66 or higher by professionals like PCGS or NGC, that value increases exponentially. Why? Because most coins, even error coins, get worn down in circulation. A pristine example is a rare survivor, and collectors will compete fiercely for it. Oh, now imagine this. A 2000 Maryland quarter struck with a dramatic and rare double die error, in flawless condition, preserved from the moment it left the mint. No fingerprints, no wear, no scratches. Just a perfect storm of rarity, error, and condition. It was one of these exact coins that made history at a high-profile coin auction. After being authenticated and graded at the highest level, it stunned the crowd and sold for a record-breaking sum. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, that single, remarkable Maryland quarter was sold for an astonishing $89,000. Let that sink in. $89,000 for a single coin that many people still have lying unnoticed in their drawers, change jars, or coin rolls. That it's stories like this that fuel the passion of coin collectors everywhere. Because what looks like a simple quarter might actually be a miniature masterpiece, a rare error, a historical artifact, a financial surprise waiting to be discovered. So here's your call to action. Go check your collection. Look through your coin rolls, search your change, and pay attention to those details. If you find a 2000 Maryland State quarter, take a close look. Is there doubling? Is it off-center? Does it have a strange color or missing clad layer? If it looks unusual, have it checked out by a professional grading service. Because you never know, you just might be holding the next coin to make headlines. Top 2, we're talking about the 2004 Florida State quarter, a coin you've probably seen, maybe even spent, or tucked away without a second thought. But if you've got the right one, in the right condition, with the right set of errors, you could be sitting on something truly spectacular. And stay tuned until the end of this video, because we're going to reveal just how much one of these coins sold for at auction. Spoiler alert, it wasn't a few $100s. It wasn't even a few thousand. The number might just blow your mind. Let's begin with a little bit of history. In 2004, as part of the wildly popular 50-state quarters program, the United States Mint released the Florida State Quarter, celebrating the Sunshine State's culture, history, and deep ties to space exploration and maritime adventure. The design on the reverse of the coin is rich with symbolism. You'll see a Spanish galleon sailing across the ocean, a space shuttle blasting into the sky, and a pair of sabal palm trees in the background. Together, these elements tell the story of Florida's past, present, and future, from early European exploration to its tropical landscapes, and its place in modern science and innovation as home to NASA's Kennedy Space Center. It's one of the most visually compelling quarters in the entire series. But as you probably know by now, in the world of coin collecting, a beautiful design is only part of the story. So what exactly makes this coin so rare and valuable? The answer lies in a magical combination of rarity, condition, and minting errors. On their own, each of these elements can increase a coin's value, but when they come together in one coin, that's where we get into extraordinary territory. Let's start with minting errors. Errors are mistakes that occurred during the manufacturing process at the mint. While most coins come out just fine, a few slip through with issues, some small, some dramatic. And these errors make those coins much more interesting to collectors. For the 2004 Florida quarter, several types of errors have been documented, and all of them can command high values, especially in mint condition. One of the most sought after is the double die error. This happens when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly between impressions, resulting in a doubling effect. On the Florida quarter, this might show up as extra outlines in the letters or ghosted images in the galleon sails or space shuttle details. The clearer and more dramatic the doubling, the more valuable the coin. Another highly collectible error is the off-center strike. Imagine a coin where the entire design is shifted to the side, with part of the image or lettering cut off. These errors are visually striking and instantly recognizable, even to a beginner. And if the date and mint mark are still visible, the coin becomes much more desirable to serious collectors. Then there are clipped planchet errors, where a chunk of the coin is missing due to a miscut blank. These coins can look like a bite has been taken out of the edge. If it's a clean clip and the rest of the design is intact, collectors will pay a premium. One of the rarest and most fascinating errors is the missing clad layer. You see, modern quarters are made of a copper core layered with nickel, but sometimes one of those outer layers is missing. The result? A coin that looks coppery or reddish on one side, giving it a strange and unique appearance. These coins are rare, and even more so when paired with other errors. There are even struck-through errors, where a piece of debris or grease gets between the die and the blank, leaving weird imprints or missing features on the coin. These can create one-of-a-kind visuals that collectors love, but let's not forget about condition. Even the rarest error can lose significant value if the coin is worn down from circulation. That's why coins that are in mint state, especially those graded MS 65 and higher, are worth much more. These coins have been preserved in near-perfect condition, often stored from the moment they were minted and never spent. Now, let's imagine a perfect storm, a 2004 Florida quarter with a significant and visible double die error, in mint state condition, untouched by circulation, and graded by a trusted third-party service like PCGS or NGC. This kind of coin doesn't just excite collectors. It becomes the centerpiece of a collection, and that's exactly what happened. One such coin, a 2004 Florida State quarter with a bold mint error and preserved in pristine condition, caught the attention of expert collectors and went up for auction. It wasn't just a bidding war. It was a moment that stunned even seasoned numismatists. And when the hammer fell, this little quarter had officially made history. So now, let's talk numbers. That single quarter, 25 cents worth of face value, sold for a breathtaking $86,000. Let me say that again. A Florida State quarter, struck in the year 2004, was sold for 86,000 United States dollars. It's incredible, isn't it? A coin that might be hiding in your coin jar, your dresser drawer, or a roll of quarters from the bank could actually be a life-changing discovery. This is what makes coin collecting so exciting. It's not just about coins. It's about the thrill of the hunt, the possibility that something ordinary can turn out to be truly extraordinary. It's about stories, history, and hidden value. So, if you have a 2004 Florida State quarter, take a closer look. Does it have any unusual features? Is the design off-center? Are there signs of doubling? Is the surface shiny, crisp, and unworn? If so, it's worth having it evaluated by a professional grading service. Because who knows? You could be holding one of the rarest and most valuable modern quarters ever struck by the United States Mint. Top 3. We're traveling thousands of miles across the Pacific Ocean to shine a light on one of the most intriguing and undervalued quarters in American numismatics, the 2009 Guam quarter. Now, you might be thinking, Guam? That's a U.S. territory, not a state. And you'd be absolutely right. But in 2009, the United States Mint expanded the incredibly popular 50-state quarters program by issuing coins honoring the nation's territories. These included the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, American Samoa, the U.S. Virgin Islands, the Northern Mariana Islands, and of course, Guam. The Guam quarter may not have gotten as much attention when it was first released, but make no mistake, this coin has become a hidden gem for collectors. And by the end of this video, you'll find out why some versions of this seemingly common coin have sold for jaw-dropping amounts. One, in particular, sold for a staggering amount that will leave you stunned. So be sure to stick around until the very end. Let's begin by exploring the story behind the coin. Guam is a beautiful island in the Western Pacific, rich in history, culture, and strategic importance. It has been part of the U.S. since 1898 and has played a key role in military operations, maritime trade, and international diplomacy. So when the Guam quarter was issued in 2009, it carried with it more than just monetary value. It symbolized the island's significance in American history. The reverse design of the coin is striking and filled with symbolism. It features an outline of the island of Guam, a flying prow, which is a traditional Chamorro sailing vessel, and a latte stone, an iconic symbol of Chamorro culture used historically as a foundation pillar for houses. These elements make this coin unique. Not just another quarter, but a piece of art and cultural heritage in your hand. But let's get into what really excites collectors: the errors, rarities, and conditions that can make a single quarter worth thousands, or even tens of thousands, of dollars. Most Guam quarters were minted at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and like many modern coins, they were produced in large quantities. Over 87 million of these coins were struck between the two mints. So, how can one possibly be worth a fortune? Here's the answer: errors, condition, and scarcity of high-grade examples. Let's talk about errors first. One of the most desirable errors in modern coins is the double die. On some Guam quarters, you might find evidence of doubling, especially in the text Guam, e pluribus unum, or even in the details of the flying prow. When this doubling is sharp and visible without magnification, you're looking at a serious rarity. Another collectible error is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not perfectly aligned during minting, resulting in a portion of the design being cut off or shifted dramatically. Off-center errors that are 10% or more misaligned and still show the date can easily bring in hundreds or thousands of dollars, depending on condition. That let's not forget about die breaks, often referred to as cuts. These are caused when a piece of the die breaks off and leaves a blob or bump on the coin. If your Guam quarter has an unusual raised lump or line that seems out of place, don't dismiss it. It might just be a cut error worth money. Then there's the missing clad layer error. Modern quarters are composed of a copper core sandwiched between two layers of nickel. If one of those outer layers is missing, the coin can appear entirely copper-toned on one side. These are very eye-catching and highly collectible. Another interesting variation comes in the form of struck-through errors. This happens when something like grease, fabric, or another object gets between the die and the blank, causing missing details or impressions on the coin. These can be dramatic and extremely rare, but errors aren't the only factor. Condition plays a massive role in value. Most coins go through regular wear and tear. They get scratched, dinged, and passed from hand to hand. But a coin in uncirculated condition, especially one that grades MS 67 or higher, is like finding a diamond in the rough. These coins are sharp, flawless, and pristine, exactly what collectors crave. Add a rare error to a high-grade coin, and you've got something truly valuable, especially when that coin is from a lesser-known issue like the Guam quarter. Now let's talk numbers. That if you have a Guam quarter with no errors and it's been circulated, it's probably worth face value, maybe a bit more to the right buyer. But if you're lucky enough to find a version with a bold error, especially something like a double die, off-center strike, or missing clad layer, and it's in mint state condition, then you've got something truly special. One such coin did make its way into the hands of a savvy collector. This particular Guam quarter had a combination of features that made it stand out. It was off-center, featured a clear die crack, and had been preserved in stunning, uncirculated condition. Professionally graded and authenticated, it became the focus of a highly competitive coin auction. When the final bid was placed and the hammer dropped, this humble quarter had achieved something extraordinary. That it sold for an astonishing $84,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single 2009 Guam quarter, worth just 25 cents in the average person's pocket, was purchased for 84,000 United States dollars. It's a powerful reminder that value isn't always obvious. Sometimes, the most ordinary-looking object can carry a story, a mistake, or a history that makes it priceless in the right hands. So, here's your challenge. Go check your change jar. Dig through that roll of quarters. Take another look at those coins you set aside but never inspected closely. Look for off-center designs, doubling, missing layers, or odd surface marks. If anything looks unusual, don't dismiss it, because your next discovery could be hiding in plain sight. And if you think you found something special, don't guess. Get it graded. Get it authenticated. Because you never know when you might be holding something worth $84,000. Top 4, we're diving into the surprising story of the 2010 Hot Springs National Park quarter, a coin that most people don't pay much attention to. Yet for the right collector, in the right condition, with the right kind of error, it could be worth more than most people earn in an entire year. Yes, you heard that right. We're not talking about a $1,000 coin. We're not even talking about $10,000. One of these coins sold for a mind-blowing price, and we'll reveal exactly how much at the end of this video. Trust me, you're going to want to hear the full story. Let's start with the basics. In 2010, the United States Mint launched an exciting new coin program called the America the Beautiful Quarters program, designed to celebrate the national parks and historic sites across all 50 states and U.S. territories. It was the spiritual successor to the 50-state quarters program and quickly became a hit among collectors. The very first coin in this new series honored Hot Springs National Park, located in the state of Arkansas. This park, established in 1832, is actually the oldest federally protected area in the United States, predating even Yellowstone. Known for its natural hot springs and historic bathhouses, it's a place of healing, history, and natural beauty. The reverse side of the 2010 quarter features the facade of the Hot Springs National Park headquarters building, with the famous thermal spring water fountain in front of it. The detailed architectural elements, along with the textured fountain water, make this coin visually unique and meaningful. That it's a beautiful coin, no doubt about it. But how does a coin that was minted just over a decade ago become rare and incredibly valuable? Let's talk about rarity, errors, and condition, the holy trinity of coin collecting. First, rarity. Although millions of Hot Springs quarters were minted, the number of coins that have survived in perfect condition or that contain significant errors is very small. The coins were struck at both the Philadelphia, P, and Denver, D, mints, and while the total combined mintage was over 59 million, most of these were used in everyday transactions. They were tossed in jars, scratched up in circulation, and forgotten. That's where rarity begins to creep in. Coins that have been carefully preserved, untouched by wear, are the ones that catch collectors' eyes. And when those coins also contain rare minting errors, that's when we start seeing big dollar sales. Let's move on to those errors. The quirks that turn a regular quarter into a treasure point. One of the most desirable and rarest errors in the Hot Springs quarter is the double die error. This occurs when the die used to stamp the coin design shifts between strikes, causing parts of the image or lettering to appear doubled. On this quarter, collectors have found doubling on words like Hot Springs, Arkansas, and even on the intricate lines of the building's design. A strong double die, especially on an early strike, can raise a coin's value dramatically. Then there's the off-center strike, a classic favorite. If a quarter is misaligned when it's struck, the entire design can be shifted, with parts of it missing or pressed awkwardly to one side. The more off-center the strike, while still showing the date and mint mark, the more valuable the coin becomes. These are incredibly popular among error collectors. We also have the clipped planchet error, where a piece of the blank metal disc is missing before the coin is struck. These Hot Springs quarters with a curved or crescent-shaped clip are not just rare, they're visually stunning. Another dramatic error is the missing clad layer, where one of the coin's outer layers of metal is absent. This results in a coin that looks mostly copper on one side, giving it a completely different tone and texture than a normal quarter. These types of errors are rare and often mistaken for damage, so knowing what to look for can give you a real advantage. And let's not forget die breaks, also called cuts. If part of the die breaks during minting, it leaves raised blobs or missing pieces in the coin's design. These kinds of coins are often one-of-a-kind and can fetch premium prices. Now let's talk about condition, because even a rare error won't reach its full value if the coin is scratched, worn, or dirty. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, and only those that fall in the upper levels, mint state, mess, 65, 66, 67, and above, are considered premium collectibles. A Hot Springs quarter with a high-grade mint error, preserved in mint state condition and graded by a trusted service like NGC or PCGS, becomes exponentially more valuable. That brings us to the moment you've been waiting for. There was one Hot Springs quarter in particular that made serious waves in the coin collecting world. It featured a bold off-center error, had a noticeable die break on the reverse, and had been carefully stored since the day it was minted. It showed no signs of wear, had full luster, and was professionally graded as a high mint state. This coin made it to auction, and the bids started rolling in. Veteran collectors recognized the rarity immediately. What began as a modest sale turned into a fierce bidding war. And finally, when the hammer dropped and the dust settled, this one Hot Springs quarter, minted in 2010 and originally worth just 25 cents, sold for a staggering $81,000. Yes, you heard that right. 81,000 United States dollars, not a single quarter. One coin that could have easily gone unnoticed in a pile of loose change. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's about more than metal. It's about stories, mistakes, history, and preservation. It's about discovering value where others see none. So what should you do now? Go check your collection. Look through your change. Dig into those rolls of quarters from the bank. If you find a 2010 Hot Springs quarter, take a good, close look. Is it off-center? Does it show signs of doubling? Is the color unusual? Does it have raised bumps or missing details? And most importantly, is it in near-perfect condition? If you think you've got something special, don't guess. Have it authenticated and graded. Because you never know, That little coin sitting quietly in your drawer could be your ticket to something extraordinary. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you never miss out on our next rare coin discovery. There are more hidden treasures out there, and we're here to help you find them. Thanks for watching, stay curious, and keep searching, because the next coin you find might just be worth $81,000. Top 5, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the United States Mint State Quarters program, focusing on one coin that's turning heads among collectors, the 2015 Kisatchie National Forest Quarter. This coin might look like just another quarter to the untrained eye, but for coin collectors, it holds secrets and potential worth that could make it a prized piece in any collection. The Kisatchie National Forest Quarter was released in 2015 as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters series. Celebrating national parks and historic sites across the U.S., Kisatchie National Forest is located in Louisiana and is renowned for its beautiful longleaf pine forests, rolling hills, and diverse wildlife. The quarter's design reflects this natural beauty with a striking image of the forest's lush canopy, featuring a towering longleaf pine tree framed by the landscape that at first glance. This coin appears to be a simple tribute to Louisiana's unique natural heritage, but the story behind it goes far beyond just the design. Collectors who know what to look for realize that some versions of this quarter are incredibly rare, and the right combination of condition and mint errors can turn this modest 25-cent coin into a highly valuable collector's item. Let's talk about rarity. Although millions of these quarters were minted and circulated nationwide, finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition today is increasingly difficult. Most quarters from everyday circulation show significant wear, scratches, dings, faded details, and discoloration. But the real treasure is a perfectly preserved Kisatchie quarter, one with no wear, full original luster, and sharp, crisp details. Those coins are becoming scarce as time goes on. Beyond pristine condition, this quarter has caught the eye of numismatic experts because of certain minting errors. One of the most sought-after features is a double die error on the coin's reverse, a mistake that occurs during the coin striking process where the die strikes the coin twice but slightly misaligned. This causes parts of the design, such as the tree or lettering, to appear doubled or blurred, making the coin unique and highly desirable. Another rare error seen on some Kisatchie quarters is an off-center strike. This error happens when the coin blank slips out of alignment before the die strikes it, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted. Off-center coins are prized by collectors because they are unusual and visually striking. The more off-center the strike, while still retaining legible details like the date and mint mark, the higher the value. Also, some coins show a clipped planchet error, where the coin's metal blank is improperly cut, leaving a curved or crescent-shaped clip missing from the coin's edge. This flaw adds an element of rarity and distinctiveness that collectors love. Now, let's not overlook the importance of the coin's mint mark. Kisatchie quarters were minted both at the Philadelphia, P, and Denver, D facilities. While the Philadelphia mint quarters tend to be more common, certain low-mintage varieties from Denver with specific errors have become exceptionally rare. Coins with these mint marks in flawless condition often demand premium prices. The condition of the coin is paramount. Collectors use the Sheldon scale to grade coins from 1 to 70, with mint state, MS, 65 and above considered highly collectible. For the Kisatchie quarter, coins graded MS 67 or MS 68 or higher, especially with errors, are extremely rare and highly sought after. Professional grading by companies like PCGS or NGC can authenticate these features and significantly boost a coin's market value. What kind of value are we talking about here? For most people, a Kisatchie quarter is just another coin, maybe worth its face value or a bit more if it's uncirculated. But when you find one with the right errors and in pristine condition, you're not just holding a coin. You're holding a piece of numismatic history that collectors are willing to pay top dollar for. In recent auctions and private sales, a rare error Kisatchie National Forest quarter in exceptional condition sold for an eye-popping amount. This coin, featuring a dramatic double die error, a clear off-center strike, and pristine grading, fetched an incredible price far beyond what most would expect. The final value? This amazing coin sold for a staggering $78,000. Yes, $78,000 for a single 25-cent piece, proving once again that in the world of coins, rarity, errors, and condition can transform the ordinary into something extraordinary. If you're a coin collector, this should be a wake-up call. Don't overlook your small change, and always pay attention to the details. That simple quarter in your pocket or your coin jar could be hiding a fortune. That if you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating story of the 2015 Kisatchie National Forest quarter and want to learn more about rare coins and hidden treasures, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell. We're on a journey to uncover the stories and values behind the coins most people miss. Thanks for watching, stay curious, and keep hunting, because you never know when a quarter could be worth $78,000.